Guys, I wish I was this guy when I was younger. His attitude on Lethal Weapon was, "You're my hero." Clayton Crawford is in the studio with us now, and you played Mr. Riggs on the show. Well, how long were you there with?
We did it for. I was there for 2 seasons.
2 seasons.
Yeah, 2 seasons, and I started right after I finished Rectify, and yeah, it was a good run, man.
Rectify was kind of cool too.
For me, we get to shoot in the Southeast. I shot that over in Atlanta, and that type of storytelling for an actor is really everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about kind of exploring what's not being said. And so it was a lot like doing stage theater work. So,
can you still search and watch that on Hulu and Netflix? And
I think all 4 seasons are on Netflix.
It's got to be out there somewhere.
Yeah, well, nowadays, right? There's syndication doesn't matter. You can just throw it on some streaming service.
Right, just Google this word. Oh, there's all 4 seasons.
Yeah,
okay,
there it is. Yeah.
Well, Martin Riggs, what a great character. And first of all, you and Damon Wayans came together on this. Did you guys know each other before this? And how did you come together?
Well, look, it was that was the studio putting that together. So they kind of brought me in, and I was hesitant again from leaving Rectify. I've always kind of, my path as an actor has been kind of follow the material and follow characters, and the success in relation to fame has never really been that important to me. Mm-hmm. If anything, I like living in the South, and I kind of enjoy being able to go to Home Depot and not have to take photos with people. Not that I mind by any means.
Right? I know what you mean.
So that kind of hiding in the shadows was kind of, and at 40, I just preferred that style. Mm-hmm. But when I read the material and I talked to Mick G, I saw so much potential with what I saw was like a superhero cowboy. And I just couldn't say no to it.
Well, you played the role great.
I
played the role
that.
great.
Look, it's amazing how good one can be when you're living in such a large shadow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think what Mel had been able to accomplish with that first film, I was certainly just trying to live up to that.
Yeah, we're talking with Clayton Crawford, who is a Southern guy and actually from right up the road here. You're from Clay, Alabama.
That's right, man.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Hewitt-Trussville. They had not built the Clay Chalk High School.
Right. How about that? So, and you're a Bama fan?
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. That's fantastic. So, you got horses on your land?
Yeah. Look, we were raising my daughter in Los Angeles, and we had my son, and it was that moment of what are we doing? With my wife and I. She grew up in Houston, so we bought a little farm near my mom and dad and my grandparents, and we've got horses, cows, chickens.
So y'all live close to each other?
Look, my entire family is within a 1 mile radius of one another.
That is awesome, and I think it's great for your kids. My kids grew up here. I'm from Pittsburgh. My wife's from here. That's kind of why we got back to this area. And her extended family is kind of like, yours. It's like they're all within 3 or 4 miles of each other. My kids grew up with all of the relatives, and I think having everybody around in the family to be an impact for your kids, is awesome, because a lot of times your kids will look at you and go, yeah, you're my dad, or yeah, you're my mom, yeah. But if they start hearing the same kind of message about values and what's important in life from the rest of the family, it's like, wow. Maybe my mom and dad aren't so bad after all. Maybe they're right on.
And that's it. It's surrounding with people who have the same kind of vision that you do is what you want their child to be. And I think for us, our kids didn't have that experience of just going to grandma's house. It was always an event, whether it was the holidays. And for me, my greatest memory was sitting at my Nana's eating a PB&J, watching cartoons. So I wanted my children to be able to go over there and have a snack on a Tuesday and just hang out with Nana and Pop.
All right. So after you get out of high school, did you go to Alabama, or would you jump right into acting? Or what?
I did not go to college. So for me, I kind of knew my path was entertainment,
Right.
And if that didn't work out, I'd find politics in some way. But I just packed up my truck and I just went straight out. And for me, I had no ties really to the industry other than a friend of mine kind of hooked me up with a guy who owned an apartment building, so I knew where I was going to live.
So that was your first introduction. Hey, I'm jumping off the high dive. I'm just going for it, and if it works out, let's see what happens. And
well, that's how my dad taught me to swim, right? You just throw them in and then you got to figure it out. So I thought that hard knocks aspect of it would benefit me in the future, and also just I wanted to work every aspect of the film industry so that if I ever got to where I wanted to be, which was a director and producer, I'd have an understanding of all facets.
Do you like Hollywood? Do you not like Hollywood? I mean, I'm sure there's some things about it that are good because it's where the biz is, but there's an awful lot of things that I've heard from people that Los Angeles and Hollywood, they move out of there. You can have it.
Look, I think here's the sad thing is you have people from all over the country who feel that they have talent or a good look, right? The creme of the creme or the black sheeps. They all go to Los Angeles chasing something. And because it's so extremely competitive and because it's such a cutthroat type industry and a lot of the big dogs run it kind of like mob bosses in a way.
Yeah.
That it's what can you do for me? So everyone's on guard, and that you never truly get that human connection that we're all really looking for.
Yeah, everything's a facade. It's
a complete facade.
Yeah.
So for me, look, I think the state of California is beautiful. I think Los Angeles is great, but you can have Hollywood.
Yeah. All right, we're talking with Clayne Crawford, great actor right here in Clay, Alabama, from Lethal Weapon and other projects he's done. He's going to stay with us for a couple of more minutes here. Your family are from here. The whole crew is from here, and you guys all live close to each other, and you're just an Alabama guy, and my son played for Alabama, so roll tide.
Oh, roll tide.
Yeah, come on. And Clayne was with Damon Wayans in Lethal Weapon until Clayne wasn't with Lethal Weapon and Damon Wayans anymore. So now look, you don't have to hold back anything in this room here. Just don't swear. So when all this came down, you left the show. What led up to that? You've talked about it. It was about a year ago this month. I guess you got into it with an assistant director, and was that it? Or I mean, was there a problem before, and that was just the final straw?
Here's the thing.
Come on, man.
I've been doing this for a long time, and my reputation is one of an individual that comes to work with enthusiasm and with a desire to make the best project possible. For me to leave my children and my wife, or my farm for that matter, it's never for a paycheck, right? So I think the problem with this, because the riffs that happen on set are very natural. You've got people, you're working anywhere from 12 to 16 hours a day. None of us see our families.
People are tired and tense.
Look, and the schedule's extremely ambitious, right? So what happened was all just very normal stuff. The situation is simply that the other guy didn't want to be there, and I think now we're seeing that with him quitting and saying that he's walking away from the show, and you're also seeing the studio jump in and just try to give the guy whatever he needs. They want to continue to support this bad behavior. So now they're giving him more time off, and they're going to try to, bring in that extra.
But what happened with you specifically right there in this, and that you think was the final straw?
I think the final straw was when I directed, and Damon and I butted heads because the things he had been doing throughout the season, it was jeopardizing, and essentially I felt he was sabotaging what it was I was trying to do. And by me snapping and kind of us having our coming to Jesus moment, that was it for him. And once it was it for him, it was it for me. Look, and it's Hollywood.
And it all just came out.
There's just a big dog, right? And he's the big dog. Some guy. It's Hollywood.
And it all just came out.
There's just a big dog, right? And he's the big dog. I'm just some guy from Alabama who's on the show.
I got to be honest with you. You were the star of the show.
I get it. But you're talking about the way it's a family, right?
I understand.
These guys, and his son's got a show on the network,
right?
And you just have to understand that there's a lot of politics in this stuff. So I just. But here's the thing: the reason why I didn't jump on my soapbox and start screaming is I was grateful to be out of that situation. It was very, very challenging and difficult. So, I was happy to be out. When all the lies started, that's why I did the podcast, and I said what I had to say.
You are out. It's time to, as Kevin Elko, sports psychologist, says, so what? Now what? So what? You're out. It's over.
So now what? I'm in the state. I'm happy that Alabama football is on television.
You're home with the family.
That we've got one of the best programs.
What about your foundation? Tell me about the Veterans Foundation.
We're here, and it's not necessarily a Veterans Foundation. What we started is we started a group. I wanted to help people that are helping many, right? And there's these small organizations all throughout the state of Alabama and all over the country that are one or two individuals who are breaking their back and packing up stuff in their garage, and they're doing it all on their own. And instead of me wanting to get calls where I'm saving, sea turtles, I said, look, why don't I help these people who have devoted their lives to helping others? I can help them. And it started by watching my buddy, his stepmother, packing up backpacks in her garage to take them to the local high school. And I just said, how are you doing this, and where is your resources coming from? And she said, said, look, it's difficult, obviously. So I created the foundation so that I can help other organizations.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, here's how you find out more about it. CrawfordFoundation.org. Check it out. Great work there. Clayton, it's a pleasure to meet you, man. And your talent is unbelievable. And I saw raw talent in your, Martin Riggs. I thought it was a fantastic character. And so I no doubt in my mind, you got great things coming down the pike as far as acting goes. You're a raw talent, no doubt.
Well, I appreciate it. If nothing else, I can come here and work with you guys.
Anytime you want.
I love it.
The room is open. All right.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. 828